So I will start now. What exactly I'm going to cover in the data warehouse concept. So in the data warehouse concept, I will start explaining about the data warehouse architecture. Before coming to data warehouse architecture, I'm going to explain what is data, what is database, all these things. So after this one, I will explain you why we are using the data warehouse. So what is the real expectations from the data warehouse? Okay, and then we will go with the data warehouse architecture. Okay, and in the data after this one, what are the different types of data warehouses we can normally see? So after this one, there are a couple of implementation approaches. One is top-down and bottom-up approach. So later that one I will explain you the schemas. The schemas I will explain the three different schemas, which is star schema, snowflake schema, and the fact cancellation schema. Then after I will explain you what is the data mart. Okay. So again in the data mart there are different types of data marts. I will explain those things also. So we will explain what is the difference between the OLAP and OLTP. OLAP is nothing but the online analysis process, and OLTP is the online transaction process. So we will explain what is the difference between them. So when do we use OLAP and when do we use the OLTP? Then we will go to the different types of data marts, and then different. So when we come to the data acquisition part, so there is like the three parts. One is the source system, okay, and source systems comes in the extraction part actually, okay. Then after the transformation part and the loading part. So I will explain what are the different types of source systems. And the in the source system there are like a couple of things. One is internal system and external system. I will explain you what is exactly the difference between them. And there are different types of like transformations. One is data merging, data cleansing, data scrubbing, and data aggregation. Okay, these are the four basic transformation parts which normally use in our ETL testing also in daily basis. Then after we will go to the loading part. So in the loading part there are again two different things. Those also I will explain you. Once we complete those things, so we will go to the different dimension tables. What are the dimension tables? You know, those things I will explain you. What is the conform dimension table, sync dimension, and slowly changing dimensions. Type 1, type 2, type 3. These are the very important things. Even in real time as well as the interview perspective, I will explain you those things. Then after we will go to the fast changing dimension tables also. Then after there is one more important one, which is surrogate key. The surrogate key is normally very important in the interview perspective. So I will explain you those things also. Then we will go to the referential integrity. The referential integrity is very important because it talks about the parent and child relationship. Okay. Next we will go to the natural keys. Natural key is very important because when there is no primary key, how do we identify unique rows in a particular table? Okay, so it is very important because we will identify the duplicate rows in the tables based on the natural keys. Okay, then we will go to the fact tables. Fact tables are nothing but the measures and metrics and dollar amounts. Okay, because it is very important when we talk about the schemas. Okay, it is like a central data table, and which is covered by the dimension tables. Okay, there are like three different things types in the fact table, which is additive, semi-additive, non-additive. So I will explain you these things. Then we will go to the fact table. Okay, when do we call fact table? Why we call it as fact table? These things. Then we will go to the difference between database and data warehouse testing. So what we will cover in the database and what we will cover in the data warehouse testing. These things are very important. All these things will take 5 hours in our classes. Then we will go to the SQL part in the Oracle. It is very important because even we go as an ETL tester, interviews people will ask about SQL. Okay. because SQL is really useful for writing the real-time scenarios for SQL scripts, all these things. In this particular 10 hours, we will discuss about the DDL commands and DML commands. And I will cover all the basic functions like character function, conversion function, advanced functions, and mathematical conversation functions, and date related functions, joins, and all these things. In addition to these things, I will explain you a little advanced one, which is analytical functions also, which is lead, lag, first value, these commands also, because it's really useful, in writing the complex queries. Okay, I will explain you about how to practice the actual complex queries in SQL. I will explain you at least 25 to 30 complex queries in order to understand, how to write the little complex queries in our day-to-day like ETL projects, as well as how to face the interviews for complex queries also. Then we will go to the ETL. ETL is nothing but the extraction and transformation loading. We will discuss the end-to-end phase, how we will start preparing the ETL mapping document, and how it will go to how the data will load in the actual schemas. Okay, so this is called end-to-end. Okay, I will explain you how do you read the ETL mapping document, how to understand that one. Okay, so once that is done, we need to validate the data in the staging tables. Okay, so there are like a different kind of testing methodologies we need to cover in the ETL testing process. ETL testing. So I will start explaining about the ETL testing process and what are the exact challenges and how do we recover from those scenarios. Then we will go to the ETL testing strategy. Okay, so in the ETL testing strategy, we need to understand that the test planning and test scenario preparation, test case preparation, and preparing the scripts, all these things. Okay, then we need to start with the testing methodologies. When do we come the ETL testing methodologies? So we need to start covering from code testing. Code testing is nothing but the chain of trust, because it's a very fast. Because when source data is loaded into the staging table, how do we expect all data has been received in the staging tables? Staging tables is nothing but the landing area of a source data. Okay, then after we will apply the transformations. So different kind of transformations is nothing but logic applying on each field. Okay, once we apply the transformation logic, so it will move to the loading area, which is a target table. How it will go there, and what we need to explain. What we need to validate. Our validation is nothing but the testing. Okay, please. So in the staging area, we need to validate the first evaluation. Okay, in the first evaluation, we need to validate on each field testing. Okay, we need to perform that one. So once it is done, transformation logics, so the data will go to the target tables. The target tables, we need to apply all the test cases regarding the transformation logic. Okay, then we need to execute the test cases and defect tracking, all these things. This is all covers the ETL process. So when we come to the Informatica area, it is like a development area, but as a tester we need to understand the basic architecture of the Informatica, how the data will starts from the source, so how it goes to the repository services, how it is interacting with the integration services, in the integration service, how data will mapping with the transformations on the source data, and how it moves to the target, target tables. These things we need to understand, because in better providing the results, so people, interview panel, they are expecting from us, the understanding of the ETL whole process. through Informatica tool. Okay, that is the reason I am just covering this one, Informatica, and as well as while it is really helpful in order to understand the testing. Okay, for the testing people give the better results, in the sense, suppose they have applied one transformation logic, so we need to give we need to understand how exactly the Informatica works, applying one transformation, how the data will come to the target table. So these things are very important to us. So that is the reason we are explaining that one. So we are going to cover the how we can create the sessions and analyzing sessions and how it workflows, which tool is really using, to create the session, how the data will go to any target tables. This is okay. Here we are going to cover the completely 11 transformations, which is filter, expression, router, sorter, rank, SQL transformation, aggregator transformation, union transformation, joiner transformation, and the lookup transformation. Okay, and the sequence generated. All these 11 transformation which we are covering, and the flat file loading is nothing but the source data loading into the stage tables. Okay, this is all nothing but the Informatica. So when we come to the Unix, in the Unix we are going to cover basic Unix commands. Why we are covering this Unix in ETL testing? Because sometimes developer may not come to the office in the weekends. That time we need to be little proactive, and we need to make copying files from one server to another server and FTP. These things are really important in order to get the interview panel, and as well as our managers, that we are capable to work in the weekends also. Sometimes weekends are anytime. Okay, if there is no developer also, we can able to work. Okay, as an independent for ETL process, obviously. So that is the reason I'm just explaining the Unix one also. Here we will cover the basic Unix commands, and there is a grep command which is a search, which is useful for searching particular text. There are like several types, in search with grep command. So I will explain you minimum of 5 types, how to research. And there is a pipeline command which is useful, combining the 2 commands, and there is a VA editor. VA editor is nothing but using like a file, in any changes, minimum changes or maximum changes, we can do in the VA editor. Few more important Unix commands and FTPs, which is related to copying files from one server to another server. Okay, these are the things, these are the concepts which I am going to cover in my training area in next 30 hours. This is about the ETL training syllabus.
Yeah, Jagdish, that's fine. Can you show me one example?
Okay, so this is the sorry, okay, this is starting about the database class. Okay, so this is the area where we are going to cover the data warehouse. First we need to understand what is the data. Data is a collection of facts such as values, measurements and metrics, and anything, any dollar amount, anything which is string, integer, alphabetic, alphanumeric, anything. So we are going to put that one in the cells. Okay, this is nothing but the data. The database is nothing but the structured set of data held in computer. It is nothing but like programmatically how we are going to keep this data. Is that nothing but the database? So when we come to the data warehouse is mainly used for reporting and data analysis purpose. It it is a central repository of data which is integrated with the different sources of data. Either it may be homogeneous or heterogeneous of data, and it is stored either for current or historical data, mainly using for the reports analysis for a particular business. Okay. Sorry. Common characteristics of any data as per the William amount, because he is one of the data warehouse group. Okay, he provided like four concepts, which is it's a subject oriented and integrated, non-volatile, and time variant. Okay, what is we will go each concept one by one. So what is subject oriented? Suppose in any organization, they designed some data and they want to analyze the data and they want to identify, okay, so who is the best customer in the last year, okay, they want to identify, okay. For that purpose, it is subject oriented. Subject oriented is nothing but the functional area, okay. So these reports is going to be analyzed for the top level management as well as middle level and low level management also. Anybody, even the one business analyst and SMEs, anybody can use these reports and they can analyze and they will give some understanding who is our the lost best customer for the last year. This kind of analysis. Okay, we can integrate the. So we will come to the next concept, which is integrated. So it is nothing but we can integrate the different source of data, which is internal or external data. Either it may be flat files, either it may be Oracle, SQL Server, or anything. Okay, we can integrate all these source and we will put it in one stage tables or target tables. Okay, that is the reason it is an integrated one. And the non-volatile, it is nothing but the data should not be changed. Okay, it means so once we get the data into the source system or target data, it will never be changed. Okay, it will change maybe the transformation logic, but not change the actual data. Okay, it's only for analysis purpose. Okay, and then we will go to the time variant. Time variant means suppose the data is using to analyze and compare the business with respect to various time periods. Okay. So I am going to validate, So when we come to the healthcare management, so there will be claims. So we need to understand how many claims were raised in the month of January, how many claims we raised in the month of February, how many number of claims we raised in the month of March. Okay, like the same thing when we come to the any business like sales department, based on the region, year, the quarters, and, okay. So the sales department also we can able to fetch the reports for the month of January, February, and March. Okay. So again, these reports, we will get it like different regions. In the January month, how much sales has been done in the east area, in the west area, and as well as the north area. Like that we can able to find the data. Okay. So these are the different four concepts in the data warehouse. Okay. When we come to the advantages of data warehouse, okay, this data warehouse delivers enhanced business intelligence. Example will help managers and executives, okay, will no longer to make business decisions based on limited data. It means we will get the enough data. So normally, when we come to the transactional data, we will have only little period of data, limited period of data. Okay, when we come to the data warehouse, we will fetch the data between 6 months to 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years, 30 years like that. Okay, based on those data, so we can validate, we can validate them, and we will come to different conclusions. Okay, because of that one, our managers can take their own decisions. Okay. Okay, the next one is data warehouse saves the time. It really saves the time. Okay, business users can quickly get the data from the central data warehouse and they can rapidly make informed decisions and key initiatives. They won't waste their time retrieving data from multiple sources. It means, um, maybe our systems has developed in in early stages like in Foxpo in different dates now. Foxpo is one software and SQL Server and Oracle different database RDBMS, so like Sybase, Sybase and all these different database. We need to every time fetch the data and we need to analyze the data for the management. Okay, data warehouse really overcome this issue. Okay, we can make this data into one single target tables and from there we can analyze the data. So it really helps the management, wasting of the time to retrieving from the multiple sources. Okay, and the data third point is data warehouse enhance the data quality and consistency. It means the conversion of data into numerous systems into common format. It means suppose one system is using for male and for gender field, male and female. Okay, so one system is saying that 1 and 2, 1 for male, 2 for female. Okay, and another one is saying M and F, and the third database system talks about male and female. Okay, using the data warehouse, we can make like these three different formats. We can make one single format we can utilize. Okay, in order to get confusion. Okay, it overcomes these confusion kind of issues and everything. Okay, the fourth one is like it's historical intelligence. Okay, it provides a large amount of historical data, so you can analyze the different time periods and trends in order to make future predictions. Okay, so you can think that okay, in the May month normally sorry, no customers are very less customers for joining in the sales department, going to any particular malls and all these things because people will travel to another areas because of the summer. These kind of things people will think okay, in the May month there will be no much customers for us. So we can produce a little limited number of goods, a limited number of products only. So where the cost will be get reduced here. And the fifth point is its return of investments also very high here because companies that have implemented databases have generated more revenue and saved more money than companies that have not invested data warehouse. So if we can observe, one who is invested data warehouse and who is not invested data warehouse, there will be high returns between them. How it will be, as I given the example just now. Okay, in the May month there will be no much customers for a particular sales department or anything. Okay, if we produce more products for that particular sales department, okay, the company will get lots more. Okay, in order to overcome this issue, data warehouse is really helpful then. Okay. Okay, these are nothing but the data warehouse advantages. So we will come to the OLTP area. What is OLTP? OLTP is nothing but the operational systems which we are using for day-to-day enterprise operations. So the normal, like if you go any business or any business in the healthcare, so in the normal claims, we are raising the claims. Okay, addition, deletion, modification, and all this comes under the OLTP area. Sorry, systems not built to hold history data. So it maintains only 1 month, sorry, from today to the day to 6 months or 3 months like that only. It won't hold the historical data. It won't maintain the years back history data. Okay. Then the data systems that are having current data only today's data or 6 months data, not more than after 6 months. Okay, the data is used for running the business, that does not use it for analyzing the business. So it is not mainly created for analyzing the business. Okay, it's only for uh, does the online reservation, credit authorization, ATM withdrawals, all these things. This is a minimum example for that. Okay. Okay. In general, like in one line, OLTP system provides the source data to the data warehouse of OLAP. OLAP is nothing but our data warehouse data. So OLTP provides the data for them. Okay, and OLTP systems will analyze this data for our business needs. Okay, the difference between OLTP and OLAP is we'll see here few differences how it works. As I explained, it supports the business transactional process and it supports for the business making process OLAP. Okay, the OLTP is supports for application oriented data, but the data warehouse is helpful for subject oriented data. Sorry, and it is maintains only current data and it maintains the historical data. It maintains the detailed data. It maintains the summary data. I will explain you what is the summary data, detailed data. Suppose detailed data means we can identify, okay, which particular customer has made which particular transaction. But when we come to the summary data, we can maintain, for a particular 1 month, how many customers made the claims, how many customers made any sales. But it won't talks about the individual person. It talks about the summary. It means number of people. Okay, this is the best example for this one. And it is maintains the volatile data. Volatile data is nothing but we can change the data as per the requirement. But non-volatile data means we cannot change any data here. We can just use the data for analysis purpose. Whatever we receive the source data, we can just put it in the target tables and we'll just analyze those data. And it's a very less history between 0 to 6 months. And it is more history like 5 to 10 years, 30 years, 40 years also. Okay, designed for OLTP is designed for running the business. Okay, it's normal day-to-day business. Okay, data warehouse is mainly used for analyzing the business. Okay, the clerical OLTP uses by the clerical team is like any person, one who normally uses the day-to-day systems. But data warehouse uses for the knowledge users who are the business analysts and management, SMEs, any CEOs, anybody, they can access the data to analyze the reports. Okay, this is all the difference between OLTP and OLAP. Okay, yeah, any doubts, Nagesh, here till now?
Clear, Jagdish. And so one more doubt is, do we need any prerequisite to learn ETL testing?
In order to understand the ETL listing, nothing, because I'm going to cover everything. The prerequisite is the SQL, okay, which is I'm going to explain after this data warehouse concepts. So we does not require that at this point of.
Okay, okay. Is there any difference between Oracle database ETL testing and MS SQL Server database?
There is no much difference actually here. So the only difference is writing the queries in MS SQL for MS SQL ETL testers. For the Oracle data warehouse, so the person need to understand the Oracle. The only difference is if he know Oracle, he can write a SQL scripts there. If he
Okay.
know MS SQL, so he can write the MS SQL queries. That is the only difference.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, the next one is the data warehouse architecture. So this is all talks about what exactly data warehouse architecture. So here, the data will come from the different data sources, from homogeneous systems and heterogeneous systems. The homogeneous means the internal system sources. Okay, this is very important in interview perspective. People they may ask what is the homogeneous and what is the heterogeneous. Homogeneous means internal systems. Okay, suppose the target data is Oracle and we are getting the data from the Oracle. The source data is getting from Oracle. Then say homogeneous systems. the heterogeneous. What is heterogeneous? Heterogeneous means the target data is from Oracle, and the source systems, either it may be from flat files, MS SQL server, or anything other than the Oracle. Okay, the data is coming from them. Then people will say that is a heterogeneous system. Okay, just write down these 2 points because these are very important in the internal perspective. In day-to-day life, we can say in 3 different words this data warehouse. Those are gathering the data, storing the data, applying the transformation, delivering the data. Okay, in day-to-day life we can say with these 3 words. How these 3 things kept it in one particular data warehouse architecture, I will explain you. There are the different data sources which are either it's an operating system 1, 2, or it means Oracle, SQL or flat file, mainframe file, anything, any data sources. Okay, those data will move to the particular staging area. Staging area is nothing but the landing area of the source system. Okay, there we can keep all our data. From there we will apply the different transformation logics. These transformation logics I am going to cover in our future classes. Don't worry much. Okay, those are very simple and easy. I will explain you. Okay, we will apply our transformation logics and we will send it to central data warehouse. In this data warehouse, central data warehouse, there is like a metadata, summary data, and raw data. Raw data is nothing but for few weeks we will it does not require to apply any transformation logic. So those data, source data, it will directly come to central data warehouse. Those we will call as raw data. Okay, few weeks we need to summarize those data. Okay, and the metadata. Metadata talks about data about data. Why we are using this particular field? So how did we construct that? These things I will explain you in later classes. Okay. So this central data warehouse uses different users for analysis purpose and reporting purpose and data mining purpose. Okay, this is all nothing but the data warehouse architecture. Sorry. Okay, the same thing I was explaining in the explanation of above architecture. Okay. Then we will come to the data marts. What is data mart? Data mart is nothing but a subset of a data warehouse. Okay, that is usually oriented to specific business line or a team. Okay, so let me give a small example of this one. Okay, suppose we are in any organization. Okay, in this organization there will be like a payroll department, finance department, HR department, project team department. Okay, these are the different departments. Okay, these are the different slices, means these are the some piece of departments in the particular organization, but these are like a functional areas. Functional areas is nothing but a subject oriented. Okay, subject oriented means the same business area combined in only one part. Okay, but it is not interacting at base level to other systems, but it may take the data from other systems, but the base area is one and same. Okay, let me explain how the base area is one and same. Suppose if we take any organization, okay, if we take any organization, the system is like the payroll department, they will look into only the payments of our salaries. They won't much go to the who is working in which project, but they will look into only the paying the salaries. If we go to the finance department or recruitment department, they will just recruit the people. They won't think about which company, which project they will do. Okay, so this is the base difference between the one business area to another business. This business area is nothing but the data part. Okay, it is a small slices of the data warehouses. the information in the data marts, but it's a single department. It won't go for the data to the other. it may or may not go to the other department to fetch the data. Okay. Again, there are two different types of data warehouse. One is the centralized data warehouse, and the second one is the functional data warehouse. The centralized data warehouse is one stored in a single large primary database. Okay, the database can be queried directly and used to feed data marts. Okay, in the centralized data warehouse, so let me explain. What is centralized data warehouse? Centralized data warehouse is nothing but the data is coming from source systems and okay, for all business areas I'm going to keep in sorry, in one particular central data warehouse. Okay, from there to it will send the piece of data to the particular business. Okay, either it may be data marts or either it may be directly reporting purpose. Okay, it's analyzing purpose, anything. Sorry. Okay, this is centralized data warehouse. The second one is functional data warehouse. It is nothing but the data mart. Okay, so the data mart is nothing but the functional data warehouse. It is a subset of the business. Obviously, data mart is also subset of a business. Subset means the functional area like payroll, finance, resource department, all these things. Okay, it has for different business capabilities. It maintains the different business capabilities, and it builds easily initially. Okay, but several disadvantages also there. It is redundancy and cross-functional reporting not support sometimes. Okay, most of the times. Okay, here you can get the only one OLTP. You just keep it in one business area. Okay, and from that one business area you can provide the reports and everything. After that one, okay, you can use these data marts and you can construct one centralized data warehouse. Okay, this is all nothing but the functional data warehouse. These are the different types of data warehouses. Nagesh, do you have any doubts still now?
Yeah, Jagdish, no doubt, so you can carry on.
Okay. There are two different approaches, how we can able to create this data warehouse. One is top-down approach, and another one is the bottom-up approach. Okay. Okay, let me go little in depth. What is top-down and what is bottom. Okay, top-down. How we will get the data from the different homogeneous or heterogeneous systems. Those data will directly move into the staging area. After the data move to the staging area, it uses some data bus architecture layer. Okay, it will again keep in a different data bus layer. Okay, then from there the data will move to the centralized data warehouse. So from there, again different data marts will retrieve the data in order to create their reports and analysis purpose. So here the data, enterprise data warehouse are nothing but the centralized data warehouse comes first. From there data will move into different data marts. Okay, this is all explaining in this particular architecture. Okay, so different legacy system, client, server, OLTP, external system, those will select, extract, transformation, integrate, and maintain, and this data will go to the data warehouse. The metadata repository maintain which particular field uses for which area. Then it will move to the different data marts and it will go to the reporting tools. Sorry. This is nothing but the top-down approach. So we will come to the bottom approach. In the bottom-up approach, data marts will come first, and from there the data will go to the centralized data. So we will find the different source system same as like top down, and the same staging area like top down. So same bus architecture layer, that is also like top down. So the only difference is from top down to bottom up. The data comes first in the data marts in the bottom. Okay, so the data comes in the different data marts, and those data marts will move the data in order to reach in the centralized data warehouse. Okay, again, either we can directly, use the data for reporting purpose, either from data marts, or from data warehouse. Okay, so the reporting purpose is the reporting tool will be used either directly from data marts as well as from the data warehouse, and we can analyze the data. Okay, so we will see what are the exact differences here in the top down and bottom up. In the top down, planning is and design is initially little different, but we can in the bottom up we can plan initially without waiting for global infrastructure. But in the top down, we need to wait for the global infrastructure in the top down. So second difference is involve people from different work groups and departments in the top down. But in the bottom up, we need not to wait, and we will take from every department, and we can build the data marts from there, and then after we can build them incrementally. Okay. The third one is data marts may be built later from global data warehouse. Okay. In the bottom up approach can be built before or in parallel with the global data warehouse. Okay. The fourth one is overall data model to be decided upfront. When we come to the bottom up, it will be little complexity is less complexity. Okay. So when we come to the top down approach, it is a little costly and lengthy process, time consuming. But when we come to the bottom up, it will be low cost of hardware and other resources. When we come to the sixth point, involve people from different work groups and departments. Okay, but in the bottom up, it build up in the incremental manner, means it is very using the less people, and whenever we require to make centralized data warehouse, we should use the incremental manner for this. Okay, this is all about the top down versus bottom up approach and the differences and all these things. Hernandez, do you have any doubts here till?
Yes, that's fine. Can I show me any real-time scenario regarding this top-down and bottom-up approach?
So when we talk about top-down and bottom-up approach, in the top-down approach, we will come up with the bottom-up approach. Okay, when we create the healthcare claims. Okay, we are creating all healthcare claims data marts first. Okay, like provider section, healthcare claims, as well as a customer section. All these data will be created first. Once it is done, we can use with the incremental manner. First, we can send the providers data, we can send the payers data in the centralized database, then we can send the customers data, then the claims section. Okay, in the bottom up section. When we come up the top down section, so we can gather all these four persons, we can create our all these tables at one place, and we can send the data simultaneously to the particular target tables. Then we can create the reporting tools and any analysis purpose. That is the way we can create the top down as well as the bottom up. Maybe sir here.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So today we will wind up the class, Nagesh.
Yeah,
So
sure.
are you fine with me?
Yeah, it's fine.